Hello everybody. Well, this is going to be a piece about my third great grandmother, Ida Hennion Mund. So basically it's going to follow her life following records. I can only give you the records part of it. I mean, there is a little bit of background I'm going to give you, like for some family lore, but there's not much of it. But she didn't live to be very old, so I figured this could be kind of a good tribute, and it actually helped me find a lot more records just trying to put this video together, because I wanted to try to get at least more details into it. So, what follows is just what I've got so far about her, so I hope you all enjoy it. Ida Hennion, born in Tappantown, New York, to Thomas and Sarah Hennion, whose mother's maiden name was Dorima, as shown here in the marriage record. Her father, at the time of birth, was employed as a butcher, continued his trade until he became a train conductor for the New York and Erie Railroad by 1865. Here shows the family in 1860. Thomas, Sarah, and then her sister Anna and her brother David in employment as a butcher. Her mother passed away when she was only a toddler, unknown when, but her father married her stepmother, Catherine Conklin, in Piermont, New York. She spent most of her young life in the Orangetown area of New York, as seen in the earliest record found in the date of the 1865 census in Orangetown, New York. Here shows a baptismal record of her and her siblings taken. Her sister Anna Elizabeth Hennion, herself Ida Hennion, and her brother David Hennion. Shows that her and her sister was born in Tappantown, New York, while her brother was born in Piermont. Her parents was T.W. Woodward and Sarah E. Hennion. They were sponsored by T.W. and C.A. Hennion, and the baptism occurred at her father's house, T.W. Hennion's home. This is a sketch of the Piermont Church. Then this is all the baptisms that were done at that time put together. Her and her siblings, her step-sibling, and her half-brother. As you can see, it lists all the sections all together, just so you can see it all in one little spot. And this church that they were baptized out of still stands to this day. This is a current image. By the age of 12, she had experienced traveling between Michigan and New York. Her stepfamily had already moved to Michigan by then. This is a sketch of the town nearby to where the property was of West Haven, Michigan. This is in the township of New Haven, and this town no longer stands. This is the record showing her father, T.W. Hennion, buying the first property in 1869 in New Haven Township, nearby the town. The land Thomas Hennion bought. We're going to zoom in now. You can see West Haven in the top left area, but his land was in section 28 in the west half on the northeast quarter, right there. This shows the family living there in 1870. Her parents, her siblings, and her half-siblings. Then her father took out a mortgage in the same year, 1870, which he had then lost in February of 72. After the land was taken, her father waited until her brother was born in New Haven, then traveled back to Piermont. Then her half-siblings passed away and were buried in the Tappan Reformed Cemetery in Tappantown, New York. The next indication we have is Ida with her brother and her sister has actually been married to a Dubois now, as you see on the bottom of the census. This was taken in 1875 in Orangetown, New York. Then, shortly after the census, Thomas Hennion went back to New Haven. Ida Hennion went with him and then married her husband, Albert Leroy Mund, and the marriage occurred when she was 20 years old on the 29th of November of 1877. Then they lived a short distance from their parents after the marriage. next following is a portrait of her husband, Leroy DeMond. This is the 1880 census with Leroy and Ida on top, and her in-laws are living right next door, or they are living with them at the time. Leroy and Ida's son Harry was born on the 1st of July in 1881 in New Haven Township at their home. Family lore says she wished she could have male children, but was never able to have another, which is also said to contribute to her later passing. It was also mentioned in a newspaper article that Mrs. Leroy DeMond is very sick and her recovery is regarded as doubtful, which was published in July 20th of 1883. Her father, Thomas Hennion, died from consumption on the 28th of August of 1886. This article was written shortly after of Mr. T.W. Hennion, an old resident of New Haven, died on Saturday, 28th, aged 55 years. He had been a sufferer for a long time and was formerly a conductor on the New York and Erie Railroad. His funeral took place at 6 Mile Creek on Tuesday morning. Consumption is also known by another word of tuberculosis. She lingered for some time with hers, then she finally succumbed to the same disease of consumption tuberculosis herself on the 8th of May of 1890, aged 32 years, 10 months, 22 days. She was then interred in the West Haven Cemetery in New Haven Township. Her passing, she left her son Harry, pictured on the left, her brother David Hennion on the right. In the next photo, we'll see her sister Anna Hennion is on the left, her married husband, and her in-laws, the Dubois family. They lived in Lakeview, Montcalm County, Michigan, and her brother lived in New Haven. This is her son's family, Harry sitting in the middle, with their children and their children's children. The grandchildren she never was able to meet, but without her, none of us would be here. She was only 32. I wonder if she enjoyed the short time she got, though it does seem like the last time of her life was a long and painful one. But while young, she traveled the world much more than most was doing at the time. I'm sure she was a loving mother and wished she had more time with her son Harry, which he held the portrait of her with high esteem. Until next time, I hope you enjoyed her biography, and I'm sure I will amend the story as I find more. Here is me walking up to her grave in West Haven Cemetery, zooming up on Ida herself, her headstone, and doing a pan down on her headstone, the family stone. Ida DeMond, wife of Leroy DeMond, and then it gives her details. As you can see, they're fading away pretty fast.